Hello everybody, this is round two of talking to myself. It's Rob from Two Turtles Gardens. I had a lot of time on my hands, which a lot of you folks at home do as well. And I figured if I better get doing something with it, otherwise I'm going to end up in jail, right? No, not really, but I decided to do an experiment. And what I've done is I've direct sowed watermelon seeds into this garden. I started on April 29th. I went through it yesterday on this side. And I'm continuing today. Now what I've done is I've dug these holes out down to about 14 inches and I put granulated fertilizer in there with high potassium. I'm trying to get high phosphorus, but I'm unable to at this time to find it. So we're going to add it in later, okay? But down at the bottom of the hole is the granular fertilizer around 14 to 12 inches, somewhere in that ballpark. When that taproot gets down there and hits that, that's going to give that flowering plant a lot of strength to make fruit, put out flowers first, of course, and get pollination going on. So that's what's happening there. I can tell you the varieties I got here too. I can, both sides, every single side, this side matches that side, okay? And what we have there is Wilson Sweet, okay? These two are Wilson Sweet. And then this next one over here, I suppose I could take that stick out of there. I don't really need that anymore. That is Sugar Baby. And its twin is over there. And here we've got Early Canadian. And Early Canadian's partners over there, 6 feet away, okay? Because you can't, I've got these planted 30 inches apart. And there's no way you could do that unless you use this technique, because it would just get all bunched up. You'd have clumps of watermelon and it wouldn't fruit very well and you'd have all kinds of issues. All right, so this one is the Early Canadian. Obviously that one is too. And here we've got the Bosman. That's the first time I've grown this one, and I have it in a container in over there, and I'm going to show you my insurance. It hasn't come up. I don't know if the seed's bad. Sometimes that happens. It's not the most popular variety of watermelon, but it could be. Like, it's got some really unique properties. And it's a scaly bark or scally bark or whatever you want to call it. I call it scally, but this is my favorite watermelon of all times. This is like, wow. But I was put on to another variety that I'm going to try. A Yamada watermelon. Apparently is very sweet. It's white flesh. My wife won't eat white flesh watermelons. And you're saying, well, what am I going to do with all these watermelons? Well, my wife works at a post office, so we'll be able to hand these out in a local small town. Now, the next one over here is Will Sugar. Now, this is an older variety. There's a man, I guess, attached to this name here, and he was a bit of a... This man apparently was a bit of a, he liked to dilly and dally in different things. And this was one of his things, I guess. So, from the stories I've read. And this is your good old Crimson Sweet. This is the kind of watermelons we get in our local store here. So, you can easily grow these things here. Crimson Sweet aren't a big deal, and they'll handle the climate here very good. And of course the landscape fabric is going to bring the temperature up in this garden, guys, because last year I had a temperature of 55 degrees Celsius during a hot day right here on the tarp, so you can imagine. So my hope is those vines will, well, most of them will succeed in growing, but we'll see. And the vines will just spread out here and there and that, and we'll have lots of room with this technique. And I'll give you all the critiques on it later. I've got some good advice from Tilla's Garden, Ricardo, and Krista from Krista's Garden. Now, Krista's an excellent grower of watermelon and many other things. So if you're looking for expertise in growing watermelon in generally a good climate, you check in with her. Her soil is crappy, but she amends it every year. And Ricardo is challenged with cool weather in Zone 4. And you got to admire that man for he's got figs, he's got all kinds of stuff. He challenges everything. This guy does not lie down. I like this guy. And Krista, thank you very much for helping me out with learning how to grow these watermelons properly. Now, I know it's Canada, and we have to do things a little different, but generally your knowledge was excellent. And we're going to go and check my insurance, guys, in case this all fails and we get snow and God knows what else. But happy May 1st, by the way. I don't really feel like opening the hoods, but you can see in there I got Scally Bark, I've got Will Sugar, I've got Crimson Sweet, and Sugar Baby all up. And also got some other melons in there. I got not Noir-de-Com, but Petit Gris Rene, and that one last year, oh, I don't think I have ever had a tastier cantaloupe. But anyway, we're on watermelon, and that's one of my insurances. I got more. Add some more in there. Petit Gris Rene and some other watermelons. And over there is all pretty much cantaloupe in there, Petit Gris Rene, and Far North. And the Far North has germinated. I'll show you that. Okay, I'm back. Show you what we got cooking here. We got 2 tobacco plants, but pay no attention to those. There's Far North and Petit Gris Rene. They've all come up. They're all doing well. I'm trying to keep the temperature up in here and the moisture, because with melons, you want to keep the moisture up. That's the big thing with melons. And so anyway, that's my insurance. We'll go back to the garden for a minute and have another little speak. Okay, we're down here in the other melon garden. This is the cantaloupe garden, and this is where I'm going to put the Petit Gris Rene, and I'm going to build it up here. It's going to be like a line. We're going to make it maybe 3 feet wide, and I'm going to landscape fabric it, and we're going to make the garden in here. And I got some poles that I'm going to try to employ for growing them vertically. See if I can do that. I don't know if I have that skill level, but you know what? I'll never get it if I don't try it. So I'm going to give it a go. And I got this other type of cantaloupe I told you about, the Far North. That Far North is going to be growing here, and I won't be pulling that because the vines only get about 3 feet long. It's a very small, compact plant with a small fruit, about to a pound, I should say. Now the Petit Gris Rene, I don't think they're that much bigger. I'm not sure, but I think it's 8 feet for the vines. They tend to go. So we're going to find out. So anyway, that's that. And just 1 minute. So the other thing that you need to know is I also added some compost to the soil, and I amended that. And of course, I used shrimp compost to go along with the other compost that I made. So they're well suited. I don't know how this is going to turn out. It's purely an experiment, guys, in Zone 5B. Planting them directly into the soil. What could possibly go wrong? It's not Georgia. This is Eastern Ontario, man. So anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you enjoyed the little video and my experiment, and I'll keep you informed as to what's going on, but not weekly. I think we're going to wait 3 weeks or something like that, because I don't think they're going to really germinate until, well, normally 5 days on a grow mat. So with the temperatures we're having, maybe 15-20 days. So maybe May 20th we'll have some watermelon action going on. Some of them will not take, I'm sure. I did see some seed that was a little bit on the skeptical side there about using it, but I did. All right, I'm going to get some rest. That's really tuckered me out, guys. I'm going to take a little nap, and I hope you enjoy the video. I'll play with this and get it uploaded for tonight. Take care, everybody. Gracias, amigos.